Hey, YouTube, it's us, Janky Yu-Gi-Oh, and we're here going to talk about the new Cyber Dragon support. And I know we're kind of late on this stuff, but I wanted to go more in depth and let more of the cards get released before we spoke about the whole thing as a shebang.
All right, get on with it. I'm here, but I haven't been keeping up with this deck very much.
So, Cyber Dragon Veer is the first card we're going to talk about. Light level 4 machine effect, has 1100 attack, 1600 defense. Its effect is this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. If you normal or special summon a Cyber Dragon, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand in face-up defense position. You can only use the effect of Cyber Dragon Veer once per turn, and every Cyber Dragon you control gains 500 attack and defense. This card, I like this card as a good 2 of, and my reasoning for that is, it's better than Zwei and all the other options we had before. It works really well with Cyber Dragon Dry, because when you normal summon Dry, how it makes all Cyber Dragons you currently control level 5, well, his effect is going to chain in response to it to summon himself, and then you can go into Nova and Infinity really easy as a good turn 1 play. If your opponent forces you to go first, Infinity is your go-to in this deck normally anyway. And yeah, I think this card's great.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at this, Mikhael. They worded it so that you can normal summon any of the Cyber Dragon, mini Cyber Dragons, and get the summon of this, huh?
It also gives all your Cyber Dragons 500 attack and defense, which can be relevant because you're an OTK deck at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess it's relevant. Yeah, I haven't really looked in. So this is just 2-card. This is pretty much just get you 2-card Nova Infinity with Dry. Okay.
Alright.
Or it gets you to the Link monster, Seeger.
Yeah. I'm going to move on to Cyber Dragon Hairs. It's a level 1 light machine monster, 100 attack and 100 defense. Its name is Cyber Dragon while it's in the field and graveyard, like all the other ones. And I'm going to stop going over that effect because all of them have that. You can use one of the following effects of Cyber Dragon Hers per turn, and only once each turn. If this card is special summoned, you can make this card's level become 5 until end of turn, and also you cannot special summon monsters except for machine monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one other Cyber Dragon from your deck or graveyard to your hand. This card adds so much more power and consistency to the deck. You wouldn't realize it just by looking at it, but when you combo it with Galaxy Soldier, it's a +1 in card economy.
Oh, this is the card that kept screwing me over.
Yeah.
Because you were blocking me from hitting your... you were blocking me from striking the Galaxy Soldier when it hits the field.
Yeah. Also, something to mention. So, a few Cyber Dragon players used to run Machine Dupe to work with Core. Because when you Machine Dupe Core, you throw out 2 regular Cyber Dragons. And this is another Machine Dupe target as well, to throw out more Cyber Dragons. If you go normal summon Machine Dupe, then you get out Infinity and Link Karibo and a Search, if nothing else. But if they Ash your Machine Dupe when you have this out, that's fine. It's still a level 1 if you notice. So that means you can make Link Karibo, and its graveyard effect will activate, and you get a Search off of it. I think this card is definite 3 of, and it's fantastic.
No, it looks pretty cool. But let's move on. I mean, most of these cards, people know what they do.
Yeah, Cyber Pharaohs, level 1 light machine. You can special summon this card by tributing, or from your hand by tributing 1 machine monster. Once per turn, you can fusion summon 1 machine monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. When your fusion monster is destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard and add 1 power bond from your deck to your hand. You only use this effect as Cyber Pharaohs once per turn.
Seems terrible.
It's awful. Don't even run it. Just worry about. Just try to hard draw it. Honestly, if anything, this is gonna clog up your thing, and it's not gonna ever be used unless you're playing a super casual. But if you want Cyber Dragons as a good budget option for rogue decks or whatever, never run this card. It's horrible.
It doesn't even do anything. Like, if they made it tribute to special summon this card, like, from your hand and made it a level 5, maybe it would be like another Cyber Dragon Infinity make thing, but they made it a level 1. God, I hope they come out with more cards that do something with this, because that's kind of stupid.
Honestly, if they made it a level 5, this card would be great. Because you summon Hertz, you tribute it to summon this out, and then Hertz gets its search effect, and then it'll work with the spell card that we're about to talk about.
Yeah. Next spell card.
Cyber Rev System. Normal spell. You can special summon one Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard, and if you do, it cannot be destroyed by card effect. Fantastic card. It's a monster reborn. You can search it with core. It can special summon from your hand if you don't have any in the graveyard yet. And the monster you summon can't be bottomless, because bottomless says destroy and then banish. It can't be torrential tributed. It can't be destroyed by card effects. So it protects you to a certain extent of trying to go into your extra deck, like Infinity or the Link monster that we keep talking about, which is Seeker. Great card.
Great card. Moving on.
Emergency Cyber. Add one Cyber Dragon monster. Oh, it's a normal spell. Add one Cyber Dragon monster or light machine that cannot be normal summon or set from your deck to your hand. If the activation of this card's in your possession is negated by an opponent's card, and this card is sent to the graveyard, as a result, you can discard one card, add the card to your hand. If this card, you can only activate Emergency Cyber once per turn. Remove all copies of Repair Plant for this card.
Wait a minute. No, there's a key thing that you were... the key thing here is that if it gets negated, it can put itself back in the hand, and depending on how it was... Wait.
It has to be negated by an
activation, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ash doesn't... It won't activate off Ash, but if they, like...
Judgment it,
you'll add it back. If you want. And it works with Hearse, too, because you can discard Hearse and search off Cyber Dragon still anyway. But as a whole, I think that this card is a replacement for Repair Plant. I don't think people should run Repair Plant anymore, and if they do, it should be maybe one of at most, because Repair Plant I've always thought was a very bad and situational search card, and it never really worked, and it could brick very easily.
I ran it at 2.
Well, I ran that too before all this support came out, but yeah. Now I don't think you run it at all.
Yeah. Alright, next card. It looks terrible.
Cyberload Fusion. Fusion summon one fusion monster that lists the Cyber Dragon monster as material from your extra deck by shuffling fusion materials in your possession listed on it into your deck that you control or are banished, but other monsters you control can't attack for the rest of the turn. You can only activate one Cyber Load Fusion per turn. It's also
that seems good.
It's also a quick play spell card. I don't know. I don't think it's good enough, though. Like, when are you realistically banishing your Cyber Dragons? Like, if you're using the continuous trap card that they got, which no Cyber Dragon player in their right mind should use anyway, then yeah, you're banishing your Cyber Dragons. But other than that, I guess core banishes itself too. But I don't. But I think the key thing of why I don't like this card is it says other monsters cannot attack for the rest of this turn.
Oh yeah, that kind of. I don't know. Someone will probably prove us wrong with this card.
Probably, but
Plants can search it, man.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think that it's worth it. I think that you better off going for like Overload Fusion if you're gonna run the Predaplants, or if you're gonna run pure Cyber Dragons, you make Seeger and infinity and then stall out kind of, and then until you can get your OTK. But anyway, moving on. I'm not a fan of that card. But anyway, cybernetic overflow is a normal trap card. Banish any number of cyber dragons that have different levels from each other from your hand, graveyard, and or face up on your field. Destroy the same number of cards your opponent controls. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can add one cyber spell/trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect per turn. I don't like this. I think it's too slow. I think the effect is good, but I don't think it's what cyber dragons want.
Yeah, well, if you don't like it, moving right along.
Cybernetic Revolution. Tribute one Cyber Dragon. That's also a normal trap card, by the way. Tribute one Cyber Dragon. Special summon one fusion monster that lists a Cyber Dragon as material from your extra deck, but it cannot attack directly. Also destroyed during the end phase of the next turn. You can only activate one Cybernetic Revolution per turn. What are your thoughts on this card, Steafen?
You can immediately go into a big fusion with it and break boards, but it requires setup.
Yeah, which means it's not very good in my opinion again. Plus, another thing that I don't like about it is the whole it can't attack directly clause. The monster you summon from it can't attack directly. Because the chances are, if you're playing Cyber Dragons and you have this board and you can use this, you're wanting to like use it to push for game even harder. Like if you come up short, you flip this and then you activate, and then you can attack and hit them for the final thing. But I think that Cyberload Fusion would be better for that, because I just noticed that it says for the rest of the turn, so you can attack with all your monsters first and then use it and then hit them. But I think that Cyberload Fusion does what the trap card wants to do, but better.
Cybernetic Revolution, another thing I want to note for people who are thinking, I can summon Chimera Attack Rampage on it and destroy cards. You can't. Because if you read how Rampage Dragon says, it can only be fusion summoned with the above material, so I don't even think you can special summon it off of this. But there's also the fact that it would require it says that you destroy up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summoning. So, moving right along, though, that was just the judge me correcting people who were thinking it was a good card.
I'm gonna go to the Link monster, Cyber Dragon Seeger. 2 machine monsters, including Cyber Dragon. This card's name is Cyber Dragon while in the field or in the graveyard. Same old clause as usual. During the battle phase, if this card did not declare an attack, this battle phase, quick effect, you can target one machine monster with 2100 or more attack until the end of the turn. It gains 2100 attack and defense. Also, neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this card. You can only use this effect of Cyber Dragon Seeger once per turn. I've come full circle on this card. When I first read it, I hated it, but then I realized that only it can't do the battle damage. So you give it to like your fusions, and then it's great. And because Seeger is probably still going to be able to attack over something, and then you can hit the next person, hit the person directly or with your other monster, depending on which one you summon, like Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon or the Cyber Twin Dragon if you're still running that card.
Yeah, he just lets you OTK again without having to use Power Bond as often.
Yeah.
Yeah, so moving along.
Cyber Dragon, Eternity Dragon. Just like this video, am I right?
Yeah, actually, we're Eternity.
But level 10 Cyber Dragon, it's level 10, has 2800 attack, 4000 defense, requires one Cyber Dragon monster plus 2 machines. If you have a machine fusion monster in your graveyard, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card is fusion summoned, if this fusion summon card, if this fusion summon card you control is sent to the graveyard by your opponent, you can special summon one Cyber Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, your opponent cannot target fusion monsters you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects.
How does this card rate?
I don't like that you have to have a fusion in your graveyard to get its protection.
I see.
I do like the fact that if they destroy it, it throws out another Cyber Dragon from anywhere, excluding banish. I don't like that the banish to save your stuff isn't a quick effect or isn't a replacement effect. I think that if it was a replacement effect, which Steafen hates, or a quick effect, I think it would be great. But it's just like the Golden Core of Clocky Miris, where you have to banish it during your main phase first. So yeah, I think that if you can pull this card off, then why haven't you won? At least for its protection effects, like because you have to have a machine fusion monster in your graveyard, and that's pretty easy to do in Cyber Dragons, is to get a machine fusion in your graveyard. But the chances are is you don't want them in your graveyard, if that makes any sense, because you're trying to kill them.
Yep. I can see Cyberdarks using this card though.
Also, you can't overload fusion for it, because it is a light.
Oh, yeah. Cyberdarks can send it from the extra deck to the grave, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
Like, I think that's all the cards that we need to discuss, because the rest of the cards are pretty much, cards that you're going to run regardless in Cyber Dragons.
Yeah.
So, I think that's all we have for you guys today. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and we'll catch you the next time we have a wild hair and make a video. And